Hello, hello. Really warm welcome to the Glasgow Buddhist Centre YouTube live streaming for the beginner meditations. My name's Jeanette, so really warm welcome, and glad you could join us. So if you're watching live, and aware some people might be watching this later on, but if you're watching live, it'd be lovely if you could just pop your name in the chat box to the right hand side. Let me know where you're watching from, and just give us a wave and say hello. Hello. I see Pasadani's giving us a wave and saying hello already. Good to see you. And I'm sure she'll let me know if there's anything wrong with the sound, and hopefully there won't be. So we're doing these live stream. We're doing these live stream meditations because we're not able to fully open at the Glasgow Buddhist Centre, which is on Sauchiehall Street. We're not able to open at the moment and have lots of people in because of the social distancing. So we're doing these live streams in order to make beginner meditations available to as many people as we possibly can. Normally we open our doors, 2, 3, 4 times a week, and I'd normally be welcoming you in at the front door and saying hello and finding out a little bit about you. So we're trying to do this in the best way that we can. So there's a small team of us, and we'll be here every Tuesday and every Thursday around about 12:30, and we'll be live streaming one of 2 beginner meditations. So we'll get going at around about 12:30, but just kind of welcoming people in. I can see that there's a few people joined us already, so please feel free to put your name in the chat box, let us know who you are, maybe say where you're watching from, what's the weather like. I'm in North Lanarkshire in Courtside, but the Glasgow Buddhist Centre is my centre, and it's not raining today. The sky's not quite blue, but I can see some blue bits peeping through. So we'll get going in a few minutes. We will be practicing and doing some meditations that I'll lead you through. So it's be good if you could grab wherever you might need to make yourselves feel comfortable, somewhere to sit or to lie down. One thing that could be a good support if you're sitting in a chair, just like a cushion, firm cushion, something like that. Or maybe a blanket or a scarf or something to wrap around you, something to put your hands into. So something to keep your back protected and something to do with your hands. So just a couple of minutes and we'll get started. Good to see that there are a few other people with me, not just sitting here in my living room with the Buddha. Poseidon is letting me know how weather it is. So weather here is a bit overcast. Yeah, it's kind of like that here too, a bit overcast. Okay, so I see Anne's here as well. Hello, Anne. Warm welcome. And she's saying hello in the chat box to Poseidon as well. Nice to see you there. Okay. So it's just about 12:30, so I'll probably try and get going. So as I said earlier on, my name is Jeanette, and warm welcome to the live stream. The 2 classic Buddhist meditations that we're going to be exploring on Tuesdays and Thursdays are the mindfulness of breathing and the metta bhavana, or the loving kindness meditation. Probably even before the Buddha started to practice them too. So in the mindfulness of breathing practice, which we do on a Tuesday, so if you want to tune back in on Tuesdays, you can explore and practice that. We bring our attention to the present moment, and we use the body, we use the breath, and specifically the breath, to keep ourselves anchored in the present moment. And this helps us to move away from the distractions of what's going on in our mind, and so less preoccupied with that. And it can help us to kind of bring more clarity, really, to what's going on in us, kind of slow us down and let us explore moment to moment what's happening with us. Metta bhavana practice, which you're going to be doing today. So that's what I'm going to do today. And both of them are, you could say, awareness practices. But the metta bhavana, what we're going to be practicing there is practicing bringing in kindness, even loving kindness, into holding our experience of what's going on for us. So we're training kind of our intention really there as well. Training our intention towards feelings of appreciation, human appreciation, human kindness. And this kind of training allows us to not just allow our minds to relax and our bodies relax, but I could also say that it allows us our hearts to relax, our hearts to relax and open. And I think we can all relate to those kind of things. The heart is, we use a lot of the heart in our daily language. My heart went out to them, or I put my heart and soul into it. I felt heart sorry for them. So heart's in there quite a lot. And the heart wants to act in this way, to appreciate, to be curious about people, to care for people. But we listen to a lot of the stories that goes on in our mind, and believe what they tell us, really. And we sometimes can find ourselves using phrases like, oh, my heart feels hard, I'm hardening my heart. And we can feel almost physically feel our hearts closing. When the Buddha was teaching, the Buddha explained that there's kind of three fundamentals here at play, and he described them as greed, hate, and delusion. And kind of in more simple terms or simple language, I guess you could describe them as kind of wanting or not wanting. And we can see that a lot in our relationships, sort of, as well as things and, kind of cultural things. So with our friends and our loved ones, there's very much kind of wanting going on there. So we're drawing things in, and we're enjoying them and liking our friends and the people that we like, the people that agree with us, the people that we think that they're like us. And then the other side of that is hatred side, the not wanting. So we're starting to, push things away, push ideas away, push people in our minds, push in our thoughts. The people that aren't quite like us or don't quite agree with us, we push those away. And then also there's delusion or ignorance. So when I think about that, I think that it's me believing that it's all about me, so that I'm at the center of all of that. And believing the stories that my imagination is telling me about how great I am or how not so great I am, and all that about other people as well. So the metta bhavana really helps to be an antidote to all of that. Just say a little tiny bit about what's coming up in our hour together. So I'm going to say a little bit about meditation posture, just so that we can all be comfortable, especially if there's some people that have never meditated before watching. And then I'll lead us in a short 5-minute body awareness practice, just to allow us to all arrive, settle, get into our bodies, and then kind of relax and be a bit more open to the rest of the session. And then I'll introduce the metta bhavana practice itself, say just a little bit more about that, and explain the 5 stages that has included in it. And then I'll lead us fully through a practice of that. So that'll be around about 25 minutes. So when we're thinking about our postures and how we're going to get into a meditation, be aware that that's the time that we're going to be trying to be still for. And then we'll leave a bit of time after that before we close, just to allow for anyone to use the chat box to maybe say a little bit about how your meditation was, what you experienced, and what you noticed in your experience, and maybe any questions that you might have about this particular meditation or even meditation in general. So there's myself today and Sadhani, who's on the team. So we'll do our best to answer any questions that you might have. And then I'll maybe just say a little bit more about the Glasgow Buddhist Centre and the culture that we're trying to develop there, which is a little bit different to the kind of culture kind of out there. And I say that as if I'm in the Glasgow Buddhist Centre, because I normally kind of am. Okay, so I'm just going to have one more sip of my tea. Hopefully you'll not hear too much gulping. And I'm going to move back into a bit more of a meditation posture, just so that I can say a little bit more about that to you. I'm using a meditation stool today. I don't always. Sometimes I use a chair. Sometimes, if my back's not feeling so good, I also use the floor as well. So I'll only say this kind of brief basics about posture as much as I think we need for today. So there's also, if you explore the channel itself, if you have a scroll through the videos, then you'll see that there are four clips that tell you a little bit more about different kinds of postures that you can use. So if you're interested in sitting on the floor on a cushion, or using a stool, or using a chair, or using a lying down posture, you can learn a little bit more about that as well. There as well, thank you, my friend. That if you click and follow that link, it will give you a little print off sheet that tells you a little bit more about posture as well. But just some basics to get us comfortable, because getting into a meditation posture is about being as comfortable as possible, just for the duration. And as I say, we're going to sit for 5 minutes next, and then 25 minutes. So finding a way that's right lotus posture. And one thing also to mention is that however you sit, that you shouldn't be in any kind of pain. You shouldn't be putting yourself in a painful position. It's not kind of an endurance sport. So listen to your body, be aware of your body. However you sit will be completely dependent on your body, your flexibility in your hips, your knees, how your back is, and how you're feeling that particular day as well. But it's about relaxing, being alert to the meditation so that you're not, hopefully not falling asleep, but also alert and relaxed. So if you are in any back pain at all, lying down is a perfectly good posture. I would recommend you raising your knees to do that, so you're putting the least strain possible on your back at all. Maybe pop just something under your cushion, like a small cushion, a thin cushion, or a paperback book, or a yoga block, or something like that. If you're sitting, whether it's in a chair or like me on a stool or something like that, you'll have 3 points of contact. So you'll have your bum, your two knees, or your feet. So good to have padding for those. Either kneel or on a blanket, or have a blanket underneath your feet, just so that you've got something there that feels comfortable and warm and protecting you, especially if you've got a hard floor. So we're aiming for, when we're sitting, we're aiming for a relaxed but upright posture, not a forced upright posture, otherwise you're putting pressure on your lower back and kind of overarching it. But the traditional way of having that upright posture is just to imagine a golden thread pulling gently at the top there, just to give you a bit of a lift. So not imposing anything, just being kind and letting the body, let the body guide you. This stool is a good height for me, so I'm not overarching. I'm not having to stretch high, and it's not too low so that I'm slumping down. Sitting on a chair, it might be good to have a cushion behind you just to stop you leaning in and slumping, and also protect the spine. So good to have a cushion for that. Want to be able to have nice relaxed shoulders and do something with our hands. So a cushion, can't see it, a cushion is also quite good just to put your hands on if you're sitting on a chair, or you can just them on your thighs or in your lap. I'm going to use a blanket, which is kind of my normal habit, to wrap around me. Keeps me, the lower leg, benefit of it is keeps the lower legs nice and warm. I just roll the top down. I can either tuck my hands there as a little shelf, or I can tuck my hands in as well. Okay. So if you all get as comfortable as you can be in whatever posture you're going to use, I'm going to lead us now in a short body awareness meditation. It's going to be a short 5-minute practice. I'm going to use a bell just to denote the start and ends of little meditation practices and any stages in between. So I'm saying that just so you don't get a surprise when I'm using that as well. Okay. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes in whatever posture that you're in, I'll keep my eyes open just so that I can keep an eye on the time. And we're just going to kind of scan through our bodies in order to arrive in the space. Bring ourselves in to our body. And as I say that, I'm just beginning to be aware of the lower part of my body. And a phrase I like to use is imagining that the lower part of my body is a big sack of sand. Big sack of sand, just allowing itself to settle down into a particular nice heavy heap. So the lower part of the body feels nice and heavy, and the upper part can rise up if you're sitting. So whether you're sitting or lying down, just bringing your attention first of all to the feet, wherever they are. Just noticing wherever in space both of your feet are. Perhaps the soles of your feet are completely on the floor. Perhaps just the heels of the feet if you're lying down. If you're sitting like me, the tops of your feet touching the floor, the blanket, carpet, sense of sensation of socks. So touch sensation wherever those feet are. Just noticing that touch sensation of texture, of pressure. And bringing our attention up the leg, the ankle, the calf, bigger muscles, knees and thighs. That brings us to the other point of contact. So the area that you're sitting on, and inside that is the softer parts of us, our pelvic bowl containing our organs, noticing breathing here, the movements in the belly, And if we're sitting, noticing the spine rising upwards. We're lying down, noticing the spine, the back contacting the floor. It's the hollow of the back, aware of the back waist. Just perhaps roll the shoulders, lift and roll the shoulders backwards, allowing the shoulder blades just to gently slide a little bit further down the spine, not forcing in any way. And the hands and the arms just resting gently, not trying in any way to hold on, just giving ourselves full permission, giving the arms and legs full permission to relax, not trying to hold them on in any way. Just noticing temperature, energy in the hands, little gentle movement, the tickle. And the head gently resting on the spine if we're seated. The head gently resting on the floor if we're lying down. Just bringing our attention to the face, to the jaw, just relaxing any muscles around the jaw. Sometimes we carry lots of tension here. And the throat to relax. The muscles around the eyes, bringing our attention there. Sometimes just raising the eyebrows and then letting them fall. Helps to relax those muscles. Even just adding a smile. And just brought a little bit more into our body. I'm going to ring the bell to bring that practice to a close. You want to stretch out or move around just for 5 minutes or so before we return to that posture. I'll say a little bit more about the metta practice that we're going to do today. So metta bhavana is sometimes introduced as the development of loving kindness. It's a set of part of set of 4 Brahma Vihara practices. So, and the point of those is to help us to experience positive and enjoyable mental states. It's quite different from the mindfulness or breathing practice that we also teach, but the two complement each other very well, and they're both about developing awareness. Pali word for metta is often translated as universal loving kindness, sometimes as of friendliness. But I think more recently I've kind of also enjoyed it being described as or spoken as a kind of benevolence, as an attitude of friendship with a kind of a protective quality. So friendly benevolence, a kind of loving kindness, friendship. And bhavana means to cultivate or develop. So that what we're trying to do is, through the practice, cultivate on purpose an attitude of kind of loving kindness or benevolent friendship. How you? It's quite a complicated. Metta is quite a complicated word to translate. So, but we're trying to cultivate an attitude that has our best interests at heart and other people's best interests at heart, and the whole world really, generally, um, cultivating that kind of an attitude, cultivating positive emotion towards ourselves and positive emotion towards other people. I was thinking what I would say about metta this morning. I was thinking like how much I'm aware of my moods changing from day to day and even hour to hour. So, and we all deal with people and things that go on in our lives in different ways. So metta helps us to create kind of an emotional stability, an emotional foundation that underpins how we deal with things that go in our lives, kind of the background to our lives. And as we continue to practice that, it can also become a real exploration of getting to know ourselves, getting to know our practices. I talked a little bit earlier about us wanting and not wanting, and being kind of like quite orientated to ourselves, and being about all about me. And metta can really help that. So there's 5 stages to the practice. Um, yeah, 5 stages to the practice. So I'll say a little bit about the 5 stages. So in the first stage of the practice, we bring ourselves into the practice. So we bring ourselves to mind, and wish ourselves well, really. Wish ourselves that kind of attitude, that warmth, that benevolence, friendliness, that loving kindness towards ourselves, which can be quite a challenge in itself for a lot of people. We are encouraging that more expansive, more warmer aspect towards ourselves. And then in the second stage, we'll ourselves kind of fade into the background, and we bring to mind a good friend. So something that's in a relationship that's not too complicated. So somebody that's alive, somebody that we enjoy the company of them, we enjoy being around them, and somebody we enjoy spending time with. We appreciate them already. And then in the third stage, we bring to mind somebody that we don't know quite so well. We don't have any strong feelings for them. And that can be, quite a lot of, I guess, quite a lot of the planet, quite a lot of the people that we pass in the street from day to day, quite a lot of people that we're kind of oblivious to, and sometimes we just ignore as well. So good to bring those to mind. And the fourth stage, we bring to mind somebody we find difficult. We find them difficult. And so somebody we maybe don't agree with, or somebody that presses our buttons, and we quite often find ourselves pushing them away, even if it's just in our thoughts that we're not as interested in spending time with them. In fact, sometimes we might be actively not wanting to spend time with them. Don't choose anybody too difficult. No, sort of nobody that's being particularly cruel to you. We're just starting to practice this learning out. So just somebody that you find a bit irritating. And then the fifth stage, we're trying to equalize all that. So we bring everybody in, all those people that we've imagined, the 4 of us. And then we extend that, and we kind of extend that out to include more and more people. We're going to have a go at practicing that, and I'll lead us through it. So if we want to get back into our meditation posture, and I'll lead us through the practice. So again, just bringing ourselves into our bodies. First of all, contacting those kind of points of contact with the floor, to anchor ourselves, the awareness of our feet, our seat, settling on the floor, settling down the lower half of our body, and closing our eyes, perhaps just taking an awareness of a breath in and a breath out. And there are some traditional phrases that we can use in order to help ourselves bring that kind of attitude of kindness, kindly awareness to ourselves and to others in the practice. So we can use phrases like, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be free, may I be at peace. And some of those might resonate. But just for the moment, bringing our attention to the area of our heart. It doesn't need to be biologically where the heart is, but just kind of around the center of ourselves. And what we can do is just drop in some of these phrases and see what the effect is on the heart. We're trying to, when we drop in the phrases, keep our attention on the heart area if we can. You might feel nothing particularly on the heart or particular changes. Quite good to keep our attention on our bodies in this area. If that feels too difficult, let's return to the breath, the feet. Just dropping in, mindful of the heart, the phrase, may I be happy. May I be well. May I be free from harm. And kind of with the attitude of being your own best friend in this situation. You're really wishing yourself well. And if that feels difficult, that's just how that is. Nothing wrong with that. Lots of people find the practice a little bit challenging at the start. But we're learning to appreciate ourselves in kindness to different aspects of ourselves. So if we're finding it difficult, just bringing kindness to that. Perhaps even putting your hand on your heart And saying, I hear you. I hear that this is a little bit difficult. May I be happy. May I be well. We move to the second stage of the practice. Spend around about 5 minutes in the practice bringing ourselves to mind. And then we move, let ourselves fade in the background and bring a good friend to mind. And just try and really picture that good friend in our imagination so that they're strongly present, feel strongly present for us in the meditation. Just imagining how they look, picturing their face, smiling. It's their way of being. The way they walk, carry themselves, the way they laugh. And just noticing how bringing that good friend to mind has an effect on us. Perhaps even noticing if it has an effect in allowing the heart to relax just a little bit more. Bringing that good friend to mind and wishing them well. May they be happy. May they be well. May they be free from harm and peace. And just noticing how that feels to wish your friend well. Like us, they want to be. They want to be well. They want to be happy. These human desires that we all share. And if at any point in the meditation you find yourself distracted either by bodily sensations in other areas or by thought, that's okay. That's normal. This happens to all meditators. So not being a little bit annoyed at all, just gently coming back and bringing that good friend to mind and popping in just gently the phrases, perhaps even using their name. May my friend be happy, be well, peace. In the third stage of the practice, we bring someone to mind that we don't know very well, that we have no strong feelings for. We just let our friend fade into the background of our imagination, and perhaps we can imagine someone that we know less well, but we can picture them in our minds. So somebody that's in our lives some of the time. That's someone we see in a shop, post office, a neighbour that we don't know well. So we don't really strongly like them, or we don't particularly dislike them. We just know very little about them. And just noticing what your response is to bringing somebody like that into your imagination. May this person be well. May this person be happy. May this person be free from harm. And sometimes this stage is much more of a challenge too, because of not having strong feelings. We're not really sure how to feel for the person sometimes. But this person we brought to mind has basic desires the same as us. They too want to be happy in their lives. They want to be well. And so we bring in that intention, that benevolent intention, and we wish that for them, almost like a prayer. We hope that they are well and happy, and we bring that intention for them. And just noticing how that feels to do that, to say that to somebody we don't know well. That we both want to be happy, and we wish that for them. And again, if we get distracted at all, bringing, bringing ourselves back to that person in our imagination, or perhaps bringing ourselves back to the body, to the heart. And in the fourth stage of the practice, we bring to mind somebody we find difficult, somebody that we don't agree with. Maybe they press our buttons. So we're not trying to solidify their character into them being a difficult person. It's just that we find that person difficult to be with. So again, not choosing somebody that feels too difficult, just somebody we find irritating. And just watching the heart's response to that, body's response. Sometimes a tendency to push that away in our imaginations. But just like us, the person that we find difficult does want to be happy. So just dropping that into our imagination, into our meditation, bringing that person to mind. And just trying to bring that intention of wishing them well. And if it is somebody that lives, we're not saying that we agree with any kind of unskillful behavior that they might have done. It's not about approving or disapproving of that person. We're simply trying to bring in the intention of kindness, of human kindness, to that humanness that we both share. So that human desire that person we find difficult has, they want to be happy. And so may this person be happy. May that be true for them. May they find happiness. May they be well. If it feels difficult, just coming back to wishing yourself well, bringing yourself to mind, appreciating that it feels difficult, appreciating your willingness to try out this practice, to try to bring that attitude of friendliness, kindness, even when it feels difficult. stage, we bring all those people into the practice. We bring ourselves back into the practice, a good friend, the person we don't know well, and the person we found difficult. So bring them all into our imagination. We call this the equalizing stage. And we acknowledge, probably in reality, we have stronger desires for the goodness, for the benevolence of our good friend. And it feels more difficult wishing that for the difficult person. So we're just exploring, trying to bring that attitude in our hearts that for all these individuals, ourselves, friend, the person we don't know, the person we find difficult, may we all be happy. May we all be well. May we all be free from harm. Let's imagining that as the sun shining on us all. The sun shines equally. It doesn't just shine on us. It doesn't just shine on our good friend. It shines on all of us equally. So we bring the attitude of trying to maintain that intention, no matter which of the people we bring to mind. And then extending that out, bringing more people in. That's other people in our family, people we share our lives with, partners, people that live near us in our neighbourhoods, in Glasgow, extending it out wider and wider into the world, bringing as many people in as you can. In all directions, into the sky, birds, into the earth, animals, plants, trees, whatever your imagination can extend to. May all be well. We just gently bring that practice to a close. Just taking a moment with no effort at all. It's allowing that practice to resonate in our bodies. And just gently opening our eyes. Very gentle transitions. Very gentle movements. Maybe a stretch. And I'm going to move a little bit closer to the screen. And we've got a few minutes just to take any feedback on how that practice was for you if you're joining us live. Before I finish saying just a little bit more about the culture, a bit more about Glasgow Buddhist Centre. glasses off, it's easier to read the screen. So if you would like to say anything in the chat box. Oh, I'm reading here that Anne says that she kept losing the video and the sound for a few seconds. And Pasadini said yes too. So maybe a bit of internet buffering. And Pasadini said thank you as well. So it's nice to be appreciated. So we've still got some people watching us live. If you'd like to say anything in the chat box. Anne's also saying thank you and that it's a lovely practice. It is a lovely practice, Anne. Not everybody gets on with it. Some people find it more difficult and more challenging. But I was with the class last night on a Zoom class, and a lot of people were saying that they really enjoyed that practice too. Sardine is saying that her mind was jumping around, and then she dropped into something that was a bit less twitchy. So I think I can appreciate that as well. Yeah, it can be difficult to settle down and settle into the practice. And that's why it can be really good to, the 5-minute body scan that we did earlier on. It can be really good just to do a bit of a body practice to get us into the practice. And that can help just to settle the mind a little bit before we start. Hello, Brian. Brian's joined us again. I saw Brian on Tuesday. He's saying he always feels so much better after a metta. And in this case, despite a hay fever attack. Oh gosh, well done. So I hope you brought lots of kindness to yourself in the self-metta, Brian, and some self-metta to that going on as well. Yeah. So I'm saying I suppose it will be different each time, depending on who you choose to include. And yes, absolutely. It can be very different. And even just bringing yourself in, is going to be each time, depending on what's going on for you, depending on what you're feeling at any point in time. And just explore and practice and use different people. Sometimes it can be helpful actually to use the same people all the time, just till you get going. But once you get used to the practice, then just explore, then bring different friends in, different people that you don't know. You might, see somebody on the bus. I might be sitting on it. Yeah, sometimes when I've been traveling by train, although I haven't done that recently, I try and practice metta to all the people that are around me. Sadly, also saying, sorry to hear about Brian's hay fever. Okay, so maybe I'll try and kind of close up. There are and not too many other questions. So thank you, thanks to the people that did pop their names in and say a little bit. Anne, thank you, and Brian and Pasadini, thanks for saying just a little bit about how that meditation went for you, and just comments about the practice and what your experience was. So thanks to everyone that's been watching today, and I hope you find the practice helpful, and please join in next week. So mindfulness of breathing on Monday and Tuesday, and metta bhavana again on Thursday. I'll just finish by saying just a little bit more about the Glasgow Buddhist Centre maybe, and the culture that we're trying to create, just to make you aware that we're trying to create something quite different at the Buddhist Centre, maybe the culture that's kind of out there in the wider world. So we don't charge for any of the classes that we do live at the Buddhist Centre, or even here on the live streamings. We don't charge anything. What we encourage people to do is take what they need from us, and whatever that is, whether it's a class or diving into any of the videos or anything that's going on, and using us as a help to put a meditation practice into your lives. So take what you need from us, but and when we give back, whatever and however and whenever we can. So take what you need and give what you can. So, and that's very much the culture that we have. So people like myself give what they can by, helping to do these kind of things for free. Um, and we have lots of volunteers that help us at the centre, but you can also help us in lots of ways. So if you do find yourselves able to, you can help us out by, making a donation to the centre. Pasadeni's put a link up there. So you can do that in regular ways or on one-off ways, whatever's most helpful. But only, again, only whenever you can and however you can. So it could be a donation, or what else is really helpful to us is if you can just tell other people about us. Tell people that we do these meditations online at the moment, or tell people about the channel, or let them know about the website. We're on Facebook as well, so please, pop onto Facebook and like us on there too. Encourage as many people as you can to get involved in meditation. If you're appreciating it yourself, just let people know about that as well. So, been great to be with you again today, this afternoon, and lovely to see some familiar faces. Lovely to imagine people that I don't know out there watching. And whatever you're doing, if you've been meditating just now, go back into the world very gently, some gentle transitions. So go kindly and with awareness into the world of yourselves and of other people around you as well. So until the next time, go well into the world. Bye bye for now.